Hey guys, it's Bethany Gall here, and today I'm going to talk to you about why I think you should ditch the silicones. So, silicones in hair products. I know it's not really considered a toxic ingredient, and if you look up a product on Think Dirty, if it has silicones in it, it won't register that as a problem. But what I want to tell you is a couple things that I've learned along the way here about why I think that silicones, they just really aren't necessary, for one thing, and why they can be giving you some harm in the long term. So first off, why do product companies even put silicones into their products? Okay, I think it's important to understand that those are put in there specifically to make your hair look shiny. Okay, they're basically a Band-Aid solution just to give a look of something. So they're not actually there for any other benefit other than to give you that hair so healthy looking it shines. Well, I've been working with a line for the past couple years. It's all I've used on my hair, completely silicone free, and this is the softest, silkiest hair I've ever had, and that should be proof right there in itself. You don't need to use silicones to have soft, silky, shiny hair. What you need to do is use a product that's actually going to treat your hair properly and make your hair so healthy that it shines. So where are we going to find products with silicones in them? Just at the drugstore? No. You want to make sure, even if you're at the salon, that you're picking up that bottle and you're reading the ingredient list. Because guess what? I went through my product graveyard of all the products that I used to use, and I wasn't using no cheap salon product either. And trust me, they were full of silicones, full of waxes, and some of them contained 2 or 3 different kinds of silicone in them. So yeah, just learn the different names for silicones, and I might even post them below because it's just crazy. It's crazy how much other companies are relying on these kinds of ingredients, when really I don't think they should be on there at all. So here's a couple reasons why I don't think silicones are good. For one thing, for your hair, they're actually suffocating your hair. They're creating a barrier around your hair strand that's not allowing your hair to either pull in any moisture out of the air, and they're not allowing it to actually absorb any of your own natural oils that your scalp is creating. And so when that happens, your hair is getting in worse and worse shape underneath all of that silicone. So sometimes when people use products that actually get rid of those silicones, they'll be shocked to see just what a bad state their hair actually is in. That's when you just gotta keep going on with our treatment systems, because sometimes they do expose the true state your hair is in, and you can't just quit there. You gotta keep going with it, because they will actually go in and just reverse all of that. But just like diet and exercise, it's gonna take time, it's gonna take consistency using good products before your hair will get into that really beautiful, healthy state. Secondly, when you are using products on your scalp that contain silicone, and I used to use one that was like a dusting one that you put in, and it gave you all that, it gave you kind of more volume and that kind of like lived in kind of dirty feel. That product is like pure silicone. And I was putting it in and rubbing it through my crown, and I just thought it was fantastic until I started to realize that when you're putting silicone straight onto your scalp, it's getting into your follicles, it's plugging them up, and you could be facing issues with hair loss later on down the road, because you've essentially messed up your follicles. Okay? That stuff becomes like cement within the follicle. So you may have hair that was meant to shed a while ago, still sitting in there. And your follicle's trying to produce another hair, right? Because it's supposed to at least produce 10 hairs in its lifetime. And it can't push it out. So what'll it do? It'll produce a really fine hair because that's the only room it has. And then when you start using like one of our treatment systems and the oil, you're doing the oil treatments, and that will start to soften and break down all that stuff that's built up in the follicles. All of a sudden now you're seeing more hair coming out, and the hair that's left behind that's still anchored into the follicle is finer. And people will mistakenly think that the shampoo is making their hair fall out, when in reality, it's the fact that those silicones are now coming out, and that hair that's basically been glued into place is coming out. And what they're left with is the really thin, fine hair that was all the follicle could produce afterwards. So again, it's going to take time. You need patience. Because guess what? As you continue to use the Rejuvenique oil as a hair treatment, and you continue to use the shampoos and conditioners that contain Capixyl in them, they're actually going to strengthen those hair bulbs. They're going to anchor them into the scalp. And when you do have new hair growth, it's going to grow in nice and healthy. You're going to get that thicker strand. That's the proper width of the follicle. It's not going to be like, I mean, honestly, I've seen pictures where follicles have like 3 hairs coming out of them, and that's not good. You only want to see 1 hair coming out of a follicle, right? There's major problems when you have more than 1 hair trying to come out of 1 follicle. So that, again, if you're seeing what you think is excessive shedding, that could be it. Okay? So don't think that it's the shampoo doing it. Just realize that that's probably silicones coming out and bringing the previously shed hair with it. Now, one other thing that I want to say about our treatment systems before I get off of here is that I have so many of my customers tell me one of the very first things they notice when they start using our shampoos and conditioners is they can go longer in between washes. And they're like, well, why? Why is that? And I always tell them there's 2 reasons. Okay, there's 2. Number 1, you stopped using silicones on your hair. Now that your hair is silicone free, it can actually absorb the oils that your scalp is producing. So you're not noticing that buildup of oil along the scalp. And secondly, now that you've stopped washing so much, your body is starting to regulate its own oil production. And again, you get into that cycle beforehand where you're washing all the time, your hair's getting really oily really fast, so you're washing, it gets oily. You get into that cycle, it can be hard to get out of it. And so what's great about when people start using my product line is they're seeing that they can go longer, and now their hair isn't getting really greasy anymore. So it seriously is a win-win. So that's just one more kind of cool thing to demonstrate why you want to get rid of silicones. Okay, because it's just going to improve. I mean, if you don't have to wash your hair every day, that saves you so much time. I used to be a daily washer, and now I can easily go 2, 3, 4 days without washing my hair and still wearing it down. I don't put it up in a bun to try and hide it. Like, I can still wear my hair very comfortably and it isn't weighed down. And again, you use good products and you stick with them, you're going to have really, really good results. All right, that's everything that I had to say about silicones. I hope that, go read your labels. Go do a little Googling on this too, because you'll see I'm not just making this stuff up. This is true. This is real stuff. And yeah, if you have any questions, you have any concerns, just reach out to me. I'll put my contact info in the description box below. All right, guys, if you like the information that you're getting, or if you have suggestions for something else you'd like me to talk about, drop them in the comments. Please let me know. And, if you haven't already, I would love it if you would hit subscribe and also hit that little bell so that you get notified when I put a new video out. All right, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care.